I read today a comment on Reddit saying that Mob Psycho is really good at teaching empathy. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But also, what the fuck does that mean? Like, how does this show teach empathy? Because I know in my heart, like, this makes sense. I felt this, right? Like, after I watch a show, I feel like it grows me a bit. But why is that? So I wanted to think about that. I have some ideas to share. When I'm watching a show, the characters on the screen become my friends in a kind of way. As I rejected this thought at first because it sounds quite it sounds a little bit mentally insane, like somebody, having imaginary friends. But really, at least for me, that's how it feels. Like, for instance, like in elementary school, I read Harry Potter. Maybe like once a week, I would read at least one of the books, if not two or three of them. And I would hide inside the books as a way to escape from, the pain of elementary school. And definitely back then, I'd say like Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they really felt like almost real people to me. Like they really did feel like my friends. Why and how you end up liking a character and feeling empathetic for them and becoming their friend definitely is a case-by-case thing. But I think for Mob, he has a really, really big heart, and it's really put on full display because he has all these incredibly powerful psychic powers. And with these powers, he could literally take anything he wanted. But it's very clear that Mob just wants the best for everybody else. And he, instead of taking, he's always giving to other people. And the thing about characters like Mob is that you care about them, but if they were real, they would almost definitely care about you too. And those kinds of people are just, just really, really wholesome, obviously. And it's easy to care about these kinds of characters, I think, especially when they're done well, like in the show. And I wanted to also think about like why is feeling empathetic for a fictional character, why is it so much easier than maybe in real life? Because in real life, at least for me, it can be very hard to open up to people and to truly care about other people. Maybe I sound like a psychopath right now. I don't know. But it's hard for me to care about everybody. In fact, that's why I don't have a lot of friends. I only have a few friends that I really care about. People describe like watching a show and getting absorbed into it, almost being drawn into the show, being transported into a different world. And for me, when that happens, I almost disappear as an entity. I don't exist in their world, obviously. I'm watching, behind the fourth wall, and in their I am nothing but a spectator. Because of that, I don't have to worry about myself anymore. So, I made a video on Halloween about why it can be hard for me personally to give to other people. To quickly summarize that video, in the world, you can't care about everybody. You cannot care about everybody, cannot care about everything, because if you do, the world will crush you. You will be hurt by it, and for me, if you're like me, you will end up jaded. But when I'm watching an anime, I don't have to worry about being overwhelmed by it, or I don't have to worry about my own happiness when I'm watching. I can disappear and just care about the characters on the screen. So in that sense, it's very, very freeing. And because I don't exist anymore, I don't have to worry about myself. It's easier open myself up to these characters. And I think once you get empathy towards the characters in a show, one, that's practicing empathy, but two, the show is able to like teach you some kind of like life lesson by like showing you the lives of these characters. You yourself can take something out of it because you empathize with them and can relate to them and can understand them to a certain degree. So that's when the show like pulls out the stopgaps and starts like ripping out your heartstrings and making you cry like a little bitch or whatever it wants to do. When that happens, I view it as like a vaccine kind of for real life. So in a vaccine, you kind of have like dead virus that your body learns from so they can fight off real virus. And for a show, you learn from kind of life's like you learn from the stories of other made up or real characters. You learn from the stories of other people, and that helps you in your own life in some way. I think there's a certain magic when you combine like really well-written characters that you empathize really deeply with, throw them together in some kind of like plot that really like tears at your heartstrings or like makes you feel emotions, feelings. There's a lot of like human experience condition, whatever you want to call it there. I think that's why people love stories, whether that's anime, real life TV or books, video games. Yeah, it's just really beautiful, I guess.